The Nets and the Sixers tied for the best record in the East, but the Nets were basically playing without an all-star team. No Kevin Durant, no James Harden, no Blake Griffin, no LaMarcus Aldridge. Oh, Kyrie played last night, and there he is doing a little bit of his Kyrie magic, and he is pretty much unstoppable. He gives you the handles there, and that's up and good for the bucket. But this was a night that belonged to Joel Embiid. Look at him here, third quarter, Sixers up 8. How does he get that to go? Third time this year, he had 35 and 10 through 3 quarters. It was his night, and then with a minute and a half to go, the Nets down 4. Bruce Brown, he is driving, but Embiid is doing it on the defensive end as well, and Simmons going to get a loose ball and take it away. Embiid 39 and 13 on the night, and it is the Philadelphia 76ers who get the big win. Again, the Nets were missing so much of their firepower. No KD, no James Harden, and others. And in case you missed it, yesterday, our buddy Stephen A. Smith had these thoughts about the Nets' load management.
This is the BS that I'm talking about right here, right now. This is that stuff that I'm talking about. And then y'all wonder why I be calling cats out. I mean, damn. Damn. How many days off do you need? You Blake, you LaMarcus Aldridge, what? For what? What have you been doing that you need a vacation day? Oh, I'm sorry, a personal day, because Lord knows we don't know what's happening now. Regular season games, it's all about the 2 months. That's what you're getting paid for 2 months? No, you're getting paid for a full regular season and the playoffs.
You know, and Tim Legler joins me here this morning. And Tim, you know, this is a complicated situation, but I think Stephen A. speaks for a lot of fans who are frustrated with this. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I understand where he's coming from, because right now I think, unfortunately, the interests aren't all aligned with everybody that's involved in the NBA. So obviously, you know, some of these are legitimate injuries. I don't think load management actually has been as big an issue this year as it has been in the past several. You know, load management became a topic. It became something that's a concern for the league, you know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's not as bad this year. These are injuries. I think what's different, Greeny, is that injuries today that, you know, back when I played, or even 10 years ago, would have kept guys out much less time. Teams are erring on the exercise of caution now and keeping these guys out much longer. As a result, we get these marquee matchups and nobody's playing in these games, and it's a problem. So who suffers? The fans first, no question. Networks, sponsors, and guys like me that want to break it down and try to figure out how these teams stack up against each other. Saw an incredible number last night. Of the 432 minutes available to the big three against the Sixers this year, they've gotten 62 minutes. 1 game out of James Harden, 1 game out of Kyrie. That's all they've gotten against Philly. So how are we supposed to figure out as an analyst how these teams stack up against each other? It's impossible. And obviously the fans miss out more than anybody, because you look forward to these big games. And unfortunately, we just have had so many guys not participate. Let's hope that when playoffs get here and all they're focused on is winning and rest isn't as big an issue, that we're going to get these teams at full strength. If that's the case, we could have a phenomenal postseason that could make us forget about a lot of this. But that remains to be seen, because a lot of these guys have been dealing with lingering injuries pretty much all season. Let's see how the teams handle it going forward.
And the schedule here in the second half has been so condensed for a variety of reasons. That's been a factor in this as well. Timmy Legs, thanks for getting up with us early here. I appreciate it. I got to leave it there for the moment, but we'll do more.
Powerful. We've seen guys this quick, but rarely have we seen a guy with those dimensions that's got this kind of touch and finesse when he shoots the basketball. And I think that's really what sets him apart from most people. And I think also he's transformed himself and his mentality this year. This is the first season he's really had in the NBA where he's committed every night to dominating. And there is no real matchup for him, or no real answer for him. He does it any way he wants to. This is what I'm talking about. The power to get the guy deep, but then the finesse to shoot that fadeaway over an elite post defender in DeAndre Jordan. And now, because he's such a great shooter, he can turn and face one of the best up fakes in the league, guard or big man, and able to blow by and get the dunk. And this is here, just flat out, we call this bully ball. When he hits him with this shoulder at the end, I saw the air physically leave DeAndre Jordan's body, and he ends up with a layup. And then I love this. Turn down the three that would have been a contested shot. Take one more dribble, get to an 18-foot jumper. Now you want to run a double team at him? Well, if you're going to run a small guy, he's just going to shoot over you with a fadeaway jumper. Everything was in effect in this game. And the irony of it is, I thought at the start of the game, his energy level was low. I didn't think his body language was great. And he was clearly bothered by that knee. He was limping around a little bit, and you look up, and he's got 21-6 at halftime, despite the fact that I really didn't think he was into the game or physically able to do what he normally does, and he ends up obviously with another monster night. I think his mentality is to be an MVP, and I believe he's going to get enough games in to deserve it. And if they end up with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, Joel Embiid is my MVP. I've been saying it since mid-January. I'm not going off of that. I don't care that he missed a few weeks with an injury.
All right, yeah, his game has vaulted, and an 85% free throw shooter, which is so key in the playoffs down late if he's going to get hacked by the other team. All right, Tim, a lot of players resting. I know the league, the story came out today, Baxter Holmes, they're concerned about this compressed schedule, people getting hurt, people sitting out of games, maybe even if they're not hurt. What's your take on the look, the compressed schedule, the injuries, the whole thing?
Well, look, the compressed schedule, the shorter off season, the injuries, I think the erring on the side of caution plays into this for the part of teams. There's no denying that it's not really the same product that we've seen this season that you'd hope for. And you saw a statistic today. When you look at the All-Stars from this season, 2021, at the end of this year, they're going to have missed a higher percentage of games, that collection of players, than as the second most in the history of the league. So you know what it is. You're turning on to watch marquee matchups, and a lot of these guys aren't playing. So unfortunately, it's tough for the fans. It's tough for the networks. You know, we pitch these games, and it's not really what you want to see. But I think the injuries have been legitimate. This has been a lot less about load management than legitimate injuries. I just think the teams maybe are keeping guys out longer when they do have injuries. And so these things are dragging on. What I'm hoping for is a sensational postseason because we had some activity at the trading deadline that's made it more interesting. And the bottom line is these guys do want to win. So when you finally get to that point, when these things really matter, down the stretch of the regular season and certainly into these playoff series, I think you're going to see everybody out there for the most part. And hopefully the postseason can salvage what has been really an unfulfilling regular season because there are so many star players that have not played, particularly in the marquee matchups.
Yeah, you buy a ticket and go see U2 and Bono's got a pulled groin and he's not going to sing. We wouldn't stand for that.
Not good.
So, yeah, it's not good. But I hope you're right, Tim Legler. Great job as always.
Thanks.
Where Edge has just taken some time off.
Yeah.
Didn't want to play today.
Split fingernail.
Warriors taking on the Thunder. That's Steph Curry at 53. The last time out broke Wilt Chamberlain's franchise scoring record. Now he's on a streak of 7 straight 30-point games. That's the longest in Warriors history since Rick Barry did it. 66-67. He hits a 3 in the corner. He works his way open. He hits like nobody shoots like that cat. It's just how it is. And when you see the final numbers in this game, again, they're just shocking. Oh, see, there he gave him the little okey-doke. Looked like he was going to go up and get it. No, sir. I'm going to make it. Listen, he only shot 4 2-pointers. He made 3 out of them, which is great. God, handle is just foolish as well.
Shoots 11 a game on
Look at
average.
it one more time.
Threes.
So he shot 16 in this game, right?
Well above average.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to be 11 of 16, coach is going to let you keep shooting.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're going to shoot that, that's 33 points off 16 shots.
Yep.
If you shot all 2s, you can't get that many. Okay? So that's a shooting percentage of basically better than 100% of his shooting 2s. 11 of 16 from 3. Another game with 10 plus. 42 points total. Didn't play much in the
defending Joel Embiid.
They don't have any, certainly not on their current roster. And I don't know that you could go back throughout time, Kevin, and take any center off of Nets in their history and say this is an answer for this guy because he's on a different level right now. And he's such a unique, special talent because you don't see guys with this kind of size that have this kind of touch. The combination of the two, he can play power basketball if he wants to just go ahead and just overwhelm you. If you want to play him with single coverage, good luck. If you want to go ahead and foul him and beat him up, send him to the line, it's about 85% from the line. So that's like giving a guy 2 points. But then it's that combination that he brings with the turnaround jumpers, the step backs, the fadeaways, the touch in runners in the lane. We just don't see a guy this kind of size have this kind of touch. It defies logic. And he's going to do what he wants with this front line. And if he plays as well as he did the other night on Monday night against Dallas, Kevin, I got news for you. No team in the league is beating the Sixers if Joel Embiid plays the way he did on Monday night. The question is, can he sustain that for a 7-game series? That's what we don't know about him. He's never really done it in the postseason, but he looks like a completely different player this year. So I think he maybe He can, and that's a real problem for the Nets up front.
You got me hyped. Looking forward to the spring and later on the deep spring here with the playoff push. So let's run the pick and roll starting with Embiid. Over under 29 points for the big man tonight against the Nets.
That's an easy over. The only thing that'll keep them under that number is if the Sixers somehow blow them out, because the Nets have 4 Hall of Famers not playing in this game, which is pretty incredible. Kyrie Irving's going to probably try to put on a show, but Embiid should get that number easily unless the Sixers get up big and he sits out in the fourth quarter. That's the only way I can't see him getting 30-plus.
Okay, the Nuggets will be playing their first full game without Jamal Murray. They're favored by 6 tonight at home against the Heat. Does Denver cover?
Yeah, they cover, and I think you're going to see Michael Porter now take this whole thing to a place that he hasn't gone yet. He's starting to emerge as a star. If you look at what he's done in the month of April, he's averaging 21 points, 9 boards. The responsibility now is going to be there for him without Jamal Murray. This is a guy that's only taken 20 shots twice in his entire career, and it was the last 2 games. So look for Michael Porter to do that pretty much every night.
All right, Steph Curry's coming off that 53-point performance against the Nuggets. Over under for threes made tonight against the Thunder seems low, 4.5. How do you see it?
Yeah. This is the easiest one of all. This is an over. Kevin, the last 4 games, Steph Curry's averaging 41 points, and he's made 28 threes in 4 games, shooting 50% from out there. Steve Kerr said it. You know what he did the other night to pass Wilt in a 50-plus point game? He said, well, this is what he's been doing for like a month. So take a look at Steph Curry. That entertainment factor is back there again at must-see. This guy is putting on a show right now. So for me, 4.5. He might get that in the first half.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Going to take the over there on made threes, 4.5 for Steph Curry. Legs, thank you for joining us here. As we mentioned the game, top of the hour, Nets, Sixers, Kyrie Irving on the floor, warming up. No KD, no James Harden. We'll see the Nets Sixers, though, with Joel Embiid tonight.
Everything, I mean, it'd be great to have the number 1 seed. I think it means a lot. It's valuable, but not at the expense of losing players or prolonging our, injury situation. So I think we have to be very careful and make sure that our guys get to the finish line as whole as possible.
That is Steve Nash responding to the news today that Kevin Durant is out of this game. Let's bring in NBA reporter Malika Andrews. Malika, Durant just came back last week. He missed